You've heard the horror stories about America's housing market: sky-high prices, endless bidding wars, dreams crushed by a single mortgage quote. But what if the top 10 cheapest towns to buy a home in the United States for 2025 flip that story on its head? In Little Rock, Arkansas, you can get a median home for just $214,000, far under the national average. And that's not even the lowest on this list. Some towns are hiding real homes for under $60,000, the price of a new car. Why are these places so affordable when the rest of the country feels impossible? And what's the real cost or opportunity behind these bargain towns? Let's count down what makes these communities so different and what's really waiting behind those low price tags. Little Rock, Arkansas, state capital, crossroads of the South, and a place where the numbers still make sense. Median home price? $214,000. That's not a typo. It's less than half the national average, and it lands Little Rock squarely in the bargain bin for 2025. But cheap doesn't mean bare bones. This is a full-blown city with all the perks you'd expect from a capital: state jobs, major hospitals, and a riverfront that's actually alive after 5 p.m. The River Market District stretches along the Arkansas River, packed with restaurants, breweries, and a year-round farmers market where you can buy local honey or hear a blues band on a Saturday morning. Downtown's been getting a facelift too, with new condos and lofts popping up where old warehouses used to stand. You get walkable streets, bike trails, and a skyline that's more than just a couple of smokestacks. Government jobs keep the place steady. The state employs thousands: teachers, clerks, analysts, you name it. That means fewer wild swings when the national economy goes sideways. Healthcare isn't an afterthought either. 2 major hospital systems, Baptist Health and CHI St. Vincent, anchor the city, and the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences brings in research dollars and top medical talent. For retirees or anyone with chronic conditions, that's a big deal. Let's talk numbers. Cost of living index? About 87, so your dollar stretches further. Property taxes hover around 0.63%, lower than most big cities, and utilities run about 10% below national averages. Median household income sits at $56,000, which actually goes a lot further here than you'd think. Even if you're renting, the median price is just $1,100 a month. Not bad for a place with a river view. Of course, it's not all sunshine and sweet tea. Some neighborhoods are still catching up, and crime rates can be spotty depending on the zip code, but the city's investing in public safety and revitalization, and the job market's been holding up with steady growth in healthcare, logistics, and finance. For remote workers, broadband is solid, and there's a growing tech scene tucked into old brick buildings downtown. So if you want the perks of city living without the mortgage that eats your paycheck, Little Rock's the kind of place where you can actually buy a home, keep your weekends free, and still have enough left over for a decent barbecue. And that's just the first stop on this tour of America's most affordable towns. Green Bay, Wisconsin, the smallest city in the National Football League. But do not let the population fool you. This place punches way above its weight. Home of the Packers, cheeseheads, and a housing market that is more competitive than Lambeau Field in December. Median home price? $280,000. That is up just 1.8% from last year, which means you are not walking into a bidding war every time you tour a ranch with a finished basement. Here is the kicker. The average home here sells for 3% over list price. Buyers are serious, but you do not need Silicon Valley money to get your foot in the door. Green Bay's economy is not just football and beer brats. Manufacturing keeps the lights on. Paper mills, food processing, and logistics jobs line the Fox River. The city has got a blue-collar backbone and a work ethic that matches its gridiron heroes. That stability keeps the real estate market from going haywire, even as other Midwest towns ride the boom and bust roller coaster. But Green Bay's real draw is the lifestyle. Imagine living 5 minutes from the lake, where summer means fishing, boating, and Friday night fish fries that locals treat like a religion. Lambeau Field is not just a stadium, it is the town square, the city's beating heart. On game days, the whole city turns green and gold. Tailgating here is an art form, and it does not matter if you are a lifelong fan or a new arrival. Everybody is invited. That sense of community? You cannot buy it in a bigger city, no matter how deep your pockets. Median household income sits around $61,000, and that stretches further here than you would think. Utilities and groceries run below the national average, and the cost of living is a solid notch below what you would find in Milwaukee or Minneapolis. Schools are strong, parks are everywhere, and crime rates are lower than most cities this size. You get all the perks of a small city: walkable neighborhoods, local shops, no hour-long commutes, plus a side of major league excitement every fall. Green Bay proves you do not have to trade community for affordability or big league pride for a mortgage that makes you sweat. Here, you can own a piece of the city, join the world's most famous fan base, and still have enough left for a kayak or a cheese curd habit. Not bad for a town where the only thing more competitive than the housing market is the tailgate chili cook-off. Hickory, North Carolina, tucked at the edge of the Blue Ridge, where the mountains start to roll and the air smells like wood smoke in October. This is not Asheville with its crowds and boutique yoga studios. Hickory is the kind of place where you can buy a house, step outside, and hit a hiking trail before breakfast. Ranked number 6 on U.S. News' list of most affordable places to live in 2025 to 2026, Hickory's secret sauce is simple: mountain access and a price tag that does not require a trust fund. Median home price, around $250,000, but affordable housing projects are making headlines. New developments in the Ridgeview neighborhood have put single-family homes back on the market for a fraction of what you would pay in bigger cities. 6 new affordable homes went up in 2022, 10 more approved for construction in 2023. It is not just about cheap square footage. The city's bond program has pulled in almost $1 billion in private investment, adding over 2,000 jobs and more than 1,200 new housing units within walking distance of downtown. That is not just growth, it is a full-on comeback story for a town that once lost its furniture factories to overseas competition. Now, the City Walk connects new restaurants, breweries, and a mixed-use development where you can live above a coffee shop and walk to a local art festival on the weekend. The convention center's expansion means more events, more visitors, and more reasons for locals to stick around. Lenoir-Rhyne University and Appalachian State's satellite campus feed into the local workforce, and the new CVCC Workforce Innovation Center is training the next round of techs and engineers right at the airport. But the real draw? The mountains. The Blue Ridge Parkway is less than an hour away. Lake Hickory offers boating, fishing, and summer days that feel like a postcard. You get all 4 seasons, but winters are mild enough that you will still see neighbors out walking the City Walk in January. The vibe is small-town friendly, but with just enough energy to keep it interesting. Think Friday night live music, Saturday morning farmers markets, and the kind of holiday parades where the mayor might actually know your name. Davenport, Iowa, Mississippi River town, Quad Cities anchor, and the kind of place where riverfront living is still affordable for regular people. Average home value? $175,646. That is a number that gets you a 3-bedroom with a yard and leaves enough left over for a fishing boat, or at least a couple of kayaks. Davenport sits at number 5 on U.S. News' affordable places list, but it does not act like a town that is trying to prove something. The river is not just a backdrop, it is the main event. There is boating in the summer, ice fishing in the winter, and parks that stretch along the water for miles. Credit Island Park is a local favorite, with trails, sports fields, and enough green space for a dozen pickup soccer games at once. The city's invested in its downtown, too. The Fig Art Museum brings in exhibitions you would expect to see in cities twice the size, and the Adler Theater hosts everything from Broadway shows to high school graduations. Genesis Health System and Unity Point Health keep the job market steady, while John Deere's presence means engineering and manufacturing gigs are never far away. St. Ambrose University adds a college town buzz, and the rental market stays reasonable with average rents under $1,000 a month. Public schools are solid, and there is a mix of private and parochial options for families who want something different. But ask locals what keeps them here, and you will hear about community. The River Music Experience hosts live shows all summer, and the annual Bix 7 Road Race draws runners from across the country. People know their neighbors, and it is not unusual to see the same faces at the farmers market, the art walk, and the Friday night football game. Hickory and Davenport prove you do not have to sacrifice scenery or a sense of belonging just to find an affordable place to live. Whether you are drawn to the mountains or the river, both towns offer something rare in 2025, a shot at homeownership and a lifestyle that lets you breathe. Next up, the story heads to bigger Midwestern hubs, but for now, these are the places where the view is just as good as the price tag. Springfield, Missouri, the Ozarks' unofficial capital and a city that's quietly figured out how to have its cake and eat it too. Median home price, $256,000. That's not a fantasy number. You can actually find a 3-bedroom, 2-bath on a leafy street for less than the cost of a new pickup. But here's where Springfield pulls away from the pack. It's not just cheap, it's stable. Cost of living runs about 13% below the national average, and property taxes hover around 1.01%. So your mortgage doesn't come with a side of sticker shock. What keeps Springfield humming? Healthcare is the big engine. Cox Health and Mercy employ thousands. These aren't just jobs, they're careers that anchor the city's middle class. Missouri State University adds another layer, bringing 25,000 students and a steady stream of faculty, researchers, and staff. That college town buzz means there's always a new coffee shop opening, a music festival on the square, or a minor league ball game to catch after work. It's the kind of place where you can buy a house, walk to a brewery, and still get your kid into a solid public school without a lottery. Retail and logistics matter here too. Bass Pro Shops calls Springfield home, drawing in tourists and supporting a web of distribution jobs. The city sits at the crossroads of major highways, so if you work in trucking, warehousing, or manufacturing, you won't have to look far for a paycheck. And thanks to Missouri's 4th lowest cost of living in the country, your dollar stretches like taffy, from groceries to utilities to the Friday night pizza run. But Springfield isn't just about pinching pennies. The city's invested in its downtown, turning Park Central Square into a hub for concerts, food trucks, and art walks. The Gillios Theater hosts everything from indie bands to Broadway roadshows. Outdoor types get their fix at Wilson's Creek National Battlefield or on the trails at Lake Springfield. And if you're the kind of person who likes to fish before breakfast, you're in luck. Table Rock and Stockton Lakes are both a short drive away. Wichita, Kansas, Prairie City, aviation powerhouse, and proof that affordable doesn't mean boring. Median home price, $260,000. That's a 9% bump from last year, but still a bargain compared to the coasts. The housing market's hot. Homes usually sell in about 18 days, often at or above asking. But the balance here is key. You're not getting into bidding wars with hedge funds, and there's enough inventory that buyers can still be choosy. Jobs? Wichita's got them, especially if you know your way around a jet engine. Spirit Aerosystems, Cessna, and Beechcraft call this city home, making it the aviation capital of the world. That means steady work for engineers, machinists, and anyone who likes the smell of jet fuel in the morning. Agriculture and healthcare round out the job scene. Cargill and Ascension, Via Christi keep the economy grounded when aerospace hits turbulence. The city's cost of living is about 9% below the national average, with utilities and groceries both running cheaper than what you'd pay in bigger metros. The Arkansas River runs right through downtown, lined with parks, bike trails, and the kind of summer festivals that make you forget you're in the middle of Kansas. Wichita State University brings in students and keeps the arts scene lively. You get the perks of a big city, museums, theaters, a minor league ballpark, without the price tag or the traffic. For families, both Springfield and Wichita offer a rare combo: affordable homes, solid schools, and enough job security to plan for the future. For remote workers, broadband is fast, coffee shops are everywhere, and you can actually afford a home office with a door that closes. The math is simple. Buy a house, pay less, live more. In these heartland hubs, that's not a sales pitch. It's just how things work. Huntsville, Alabama, Rocket City, the place where high-tech dreams do not have to come with a Silicon Valley price tag. Median home price, $353,000. That is not pocket change, but when you stack it against the paychecks flying around town, it is a different ballgame. Huntsville is not just affordable, it is smart money. The city ranks number 2 for affordability among America's best places to live in 2025 to 2026. Here, you get NASA, defense giants, and a tech sector that is pulling in talent faster than you can say Space Force transfer. Take a look at the numbers. Population up 17.8% in the last 5 years. Nearly 30,000 new neighbors since 2019. That is not just growth. That is a migration wave. Inventory is keeping pace too, with 2,740 homes on the market, up 39% from last year. No housing crunch, no panic buying. Houses here typically spend 46 days on the market, so you can actually tour a place twice before making an offer. The Housing Affordability Index sits at 97, meaning the average family can almost swing the median home without living on ramen and hope. Jobs? Huntsville has got them on tap. NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center anchors the city, but it is not all rocket science. Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and Raytheon all have major operations here, and Blue Origin is building engines for the next generation of moonshots. The city's tech sector has exploded beyond defense. Think cybersecurity, advanced manufacturing, software startups. Median household income clocks in at $70,778, and for tech and engineering families, it is not rare to see six-figure paychecks. That is how you get a city where $353,000 is not a pipe dream. It is within reach. Remote work? No problem. Huntsville's broadband is fast, reliable, and city planners have made sure new developments come wired for the future. For those dialing in from home, you get all the perks of a tech hub, coffee shops, co-working spaces, and a downtown that has ditched the sleepy southern stereotype for breweries, art walks, and live shows at the Von Braun Center. The University of Alabama in Huntsville feeds the talent pipeline, and the public schools have doubled down on STEM, so the next wave of rocket scientists does not have to leave town. Cost of living? About 9% below the national average. Utilities and groceries run cheaper than what you would pay in Austin or Atlanta. Healthcare is strong. Multiple hospital systems, a growing biotech scene, and research dollars pouring in. Property taxes are a manageable 0.46%. Even with the growth, traffic is still sane, and you can get from downtown to the Space Center in under 20 minutes. Unless there is a rocket launch, then just enjoy the show. For families, the math works. For young professionals, the lifestyle is legit. And for remote workers, Huntsville is the rare place where you can cash a big city paycheck, buy a real backyard, and still have enough left for a kayak or a trip to the Gulf. In 2025, that is not just affordable, it is a launch pad for living well. Charleston, West Virginia, the kind of place where the price tags on houses look like typos, but they are real. You can scroll through listings and spot 4-bedroom homes for $24,900, 3 bedrooms for $29,000, and the occasional fixer-upper dipping below $20,000. That is not a down payment. That is the whole house. Median home value hovers around $156,000. But if you are willing to put in a little sweat equity, you can lock in a mortgage that is barely more than your cell phone bill. The city sits at the crossroads of Appalachian charm and government stability, state jobs, a steady healthcare sector, and a cost of living that is 16% to 26% below the national average. The Kanawha River cuts through downtown, and on weekends you will find locals fishing, kayaking, or catching a concert at Haddad Riverfront Park. Land bank programs and auctions keep the supply of budget homes coming, and it is not just about abandoned shells. Some of these places are move-in ready, with enough left over in your account to actually furnish them. Youngstown, Ohio, once the steel capital of the world, now the comeback kid of the Rust Belt. Median home price, $165,200. That is up 10% from last year, but still less than the cost of a used Tesla. The market is deep, 690 homes for sale at last count. And properties tend to linger, so buyers can take their time and drive a hard bargain. It is not all boarded windows and broken dreams. Youngstown State University anchors the downtown, bringing in students, research money, and a steady stream of tech startups looking for cheap office space and even cheaper rent. The city's art scene is on the upswing, with galleries popping up in old warehouses and the Butler Institute of American Art drawing crowds from Cleveland and Pittsburgh. If you want to live in a place where the neighbors remember your name and maybe your grandma's meatloaf recipe, this is it. You get urban amenities without urban sticker shock, and a shot at a 5-bedroom house for the price of a studio apartment in Brooklyn, now Decatur, Illinois. the undisputed heavyweight champion of affordable living in America. U.S. News crowned it the most affordable place to live in 2025 to 2026, and the numbers back it up. Typical homes go for under $50,000. That is not a typo. You can find 3-bedroom houses for $29,900, or even 4 bedrooms for $12,500, less than some folks spend on a vacation. Median rent, $795 a month. The cost of living is so low, you might wonder what the catch is. Here is the twist. Decatur is not just cheap, it is livable. The city sits on Lake Decatur, so weekends mean boating, fishing, or just hanging out on the water. Caterpillar and Archer Daniels Midland keep the job market steady, and Millikan University brings a college town buzz to the mix. The downtown has craft coffee, local shops, and a walkable square where you can catch a summer festival or a farmer's market. Land bank initiatives scoop up vacant properties and put them back on the market, sometimes for less than the cost of a used car. For remote workers, broadband is solid, and you can actually afford a home office with a door that closes. In Decatur, the math is simple. Buy a house, pay less, live more. For anyone tired of chasing rent hikes or bidding wars, these towns are the last true mortgage killer markets left in America. In 2025, verified listings show Decatur, Illinois offering homes for under $60,000, a figure that leads the nation for affordability. This documentary has revealed that from Little Rock's $214,000 median price to Charleston's sub-$50,000 market, the spectrum of affordable living in the United States is wider than many realize. U.S. News ranks towns like Huntsville and Wichita in the national top 5, blending low prices with strong job markets and community amenities. Yet, while public records confirm these low asking prices and quality of life statistics, several questions remain, such as how long these prices will last and how local economies will adapt to shifting demand. Census data and housing reports confirm the trend, but do not guarantee future stability. What is clear, in a housing market marked by rising costs elsewhere, these 10 towns stand as documented examples of attainable homeownership in 2025. For now, their affordability is not just a promise, but a present reality, supported by the numbers.